We are getting some breaking news in the investigation into the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie.
Some puzzling new developments tonight in the ongoing search for Nancy Guthrie.
They thought it was a simple abduction. An 84-year-old woman disappears in the middle of the night. Blood on the front door. A masked figure caught on camera, then gone. And the FBI? Still no answers. Almost 3 months later. But here's what doesn't sit right. This doesn't feel random. It feels planned, careful, personal. Someone knew that house, knew her routine, knew exactly when to move. And now, a former FBI profiler is hinting at something bigger. Something a lot closer to home. This is the Nancy Guthrie case. And trust me, this one gets strange fast. Let's go back to the start, because the timeline? That's where things begin to crack. January 31st, 2026. Saturday night. Nancy Guthrie, 84 years old, described as warm, active, deeply connected to her community. She takes an Uber to her daughter Annie's house for dinner. Nothing unusual, just family time. At 9:48 p.m., her son-in-law, Tommaso Cioni, drives her home, drops her off. Garage closes at 9:50. And just like that, she's alone. That's the last confirmed moment anyone saw her alive. Now here's where things shift. At 1:47 a.m., someone disconnects her doorbell camera. Not a glitch. Not an outage. Someone physically walks up and shuts it off. They're wearing a mask, gloves. They came prepared. But wait, it gets worse. At 2:12 a.m., a neighbor's camera picks up movement. Different angle, different view. And at 2:28 a.m., her pacemaker app disconnects. Just like that, she was gone. The next morning, something feels off. She misses a church live stream. Family goes to check. And what they find changes everything. Her phone? Still there. Her medication? Still there. This is a woman who couldn't walk far on her own. And yet, she vanished without taking a single thing. That's not someone leaving. That's someone being taken. Police call it quickly. This is a crime scene. Now most people stop there. Kidnapping, ransom, mystery. But this is where it gets interesting. The FBI jumps in fast. Border Patrol too. Drones, dogs, full search. Then the ransom notes show up. Crypto payments. Deadline. Classic setup, right? Except, something feels off. Profilers aren't convinced. One former FBI assistant director even said, he thinks he knows what happened. He didn't explain, but he made one thing clear. This didn't feel like a stranger. Think about that. The suspect disables a camera in the dark, moves through the property smoothly, doesn't wake anyone. That's not luck. That's familiarity. That's planning. And planning like that? It doesn't happen overnight. But then, investigators started looking past the house and toward Nancy's daughter, Savannah. A new theory starts gaining attention, and it changes everything. Nancy may not have been the real target. Her daughter was. Savannah Guthrie. A national TV figure, recognizable, vocal, public, and with that kind of visibility, comes attention, not all of it good. So the question becomes, was this a message? Because when you look at the victim choice, an elderly woman, limited mobility, paired with the level of planning, it starts to feel deliberate, targeted. But here's the catch. If this is about Savannah, the suspect pool explodes. Too many possibilities. Too many people. And that makes this case even harder. Now let's talk about the evidence. Because this part? It's chilling. There was blood at the scene. It was a match. The blood on that porch belonged to Nancy. And according to a former profiler, it points to one attacker. Not a group. One person. Let that sink in. One person carried an 84-year-old woman out of her home, in the middle of the night, without being seen. That tells you something. This wasn't random. This person was capable, controlled. And the blood? It's near the front door, which means she likely encountered them face to face. Maybe she opened the door. Maybe she tried to fight back. Either way, she was aware. And something went very wrong. Now we need to talk about Tommaso Cioni, the last person to see her alive. And in cases like this, that matters a lot. He hasn't been charged. Not officially a suspect, but investigators always look closely at that final contact. Always. Old videos of him start surfacing online. People begin analyzing them, speculating, trying to read into things. And then, that comment from the former FBI official, "This may not be a stranger." That line alone? It fuels everything. Now, to be clear, there are no charges. But scrutiny? That's unavoidable. So where are we now? Nearly 90 days later. Searches are still happening. Investigators keep returning. The neighborhood? Still shaken. $1 million reward has been offered. Still no proof of life. And that masked figure on camera? Still unidentified. Still out there. And here's the part that hits hardest. The longer this goes on, the colder it gets. But then, that same FBI official says something else. He believes there is an answer already in the evidence. That matters, because it means this isn't a dead end. It's something waiting to be seen clearly. So what do we actually know? Nancy was taken, against her will, in the early hours of February 1st. The suspect was prepared, masked, gloved, strong enough to act alone. They knew the house, knew the timing. Ransom demands were made, no proof of life. And experts? They don't think this was random. They think it was personal. What we don't know is whether she's still alive. And that question, that's what hangs over everything. Because this isn't just a case. It's a reminder how one normal night, a dinner, a ride home, can turn into something unthinkable in just a few hours. And how even the best investigators can be left chasing shadows. Because whoever did this, they were careful, patient, cold. They saw that camera and turned it off without hesitation. That's not panic, that's control. So now you've got the full picture, the timeline, the clues, the theories, and the one question that still hasn't been answered. Someone out there knows what happened to Nancy Guthrie, and they're still walking free. If this made you think differently about the case, share it, because awareness matters. And if you want to understand how profilers actually break cases like this, there's a deeper dive waiting, right here. Stay curious, stay sharp, and I'll see you in the next one.